By now, we've all processed and dissected the recent Pokemon Presents, and well, ignoring the loud minority, I'm actually very excited for the future of Pokemon as a series. I remember when Pokemon Sword and Shield was first announced. I'll admit, I was one of those people that lost it at the way the trees looked in the game. I know, I'm actually pretty ashamed because, all in all, Sword and Shield was a okay Pokemon game. Nothing was that innovative or impressive from the game, just another Pokemon game from the yearly ones we get. Same RPG mechanics, same art style, kinda, same story. And I guess it worked. Most Pokemon fans are handheld gamers, and I think Game Freak tried to create a game that will be an introduction to console gaming for these long-term fans. If they had changed the formula too much, fans would have rioted, even more than they kinda did. But even though this decision kinda blew up in their faces given the game's reception, I think this was a smart move. By not doing much to change up the franchise's first mainline console game, you ensure your longtime fans continue playing your games and then try something completely new with the next iteration. And that's where Pokémon Legends Arceus comes in. Look, in this channel, we throw shade at multi-billion-dollar companies like car keys at an Oprah taping. You get a car! You get a car! You get a car! And I'm not afraid to admit it. However, I have to give Pokemon credit, and more so Game Freak, for finally listening to the voice of reason. To the voice of their fans who have been screaming for an open-world Pokemon game ever since the handheld classic explored the 3D space. Sword and Shield proved to be such a pivotal moment in Pokemon history. It was essentially the first iteration of an open world game from Pokemon. Sword and Shield was met with a myriad of criticisms. Everything from recycling animations, reusing 3DS models, having less than acceptable textures for the world, and well, just being a somewhat lazy game, to be honest. Sword and Shield to this day is perceived as one of the least favorite Pokemon games amongst diehard fans. I mean, it's an average game in comparison to every single one of them. However, I will say the open world aspect of the game, well, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty bad too. Sorry. As a self-proclaimed open world connoisseur, the wild area was mostly just a playground of sorts smack down in the middle between two areas of the game. You know what this area reminded me of? Y'all remember Tony Hawk's American Wasteland? That old GameCube era Tony Hawk game that was marketed as the first true open world arcade skating game. I used to love that damn thing. I'll always credit Tony Hawk games for being the blueprint for my music taste today. But the game's open world mechanic was designed pretty much the same way Pokemon Sword and Shield was designed. It's an illusion of an open world, defining an area as open only for it to serve as a hallway of sorts to get to another area of the game. Now, don't get me wrong, Sword and Shield does it a little bit better than American Wasteland. In American Wasteland, the open world is quite literally just a hallway you skate through to get to the next level / area of the game. In Sword and Shield, the wild area works pretty much the same way, but it at least isn't a hallway. It's just a big square that serves as a hallway to get you to the next area of the game. You know what? I take it back. I actually do take it back. Sword and Shield didn't do open world any better than American Wasteland. However, Game Freak presented us with what is hopefully a brighter future with Legends. I think the biggest challenge for Game Freak will be to not fall victim to its own past design choices. This is their sophomore title into a home console, a sophomore mainline Pokemon game. I want to clarify. Mistakes such as making the wild area a very monotonous field can no longer and will probably no longer work for the game's design. At least it won't be acceptable. Pokemon games have been traditionally designed as very linear. A huge part of the games are the routes, which are the hallways to other towns, and serve as areas where you can battle and train your Pokemons. The same choice was implemented in Sword and Shield, which essentially made the wild area feel a little gimmicky in my opinion. If there's already routes with Pokemons in between towns, what really was the purpose of the wild area? You could say like for multiplayer purposes, of course, But those battles, those Gigantamax battles, even those little rock pits could have easily been put around the world or in the actual routes between towns. You see where I'm going with this? The wild area was just another route, just another hallway. Hopefully Game Freak took notes from other more established open world games and veteran studios that, have dabbled multiple times in this genre. Or also, I hope Game Freak just learned from their own design choices. In Arceus, I hope they explore a more non-linear Pokemon game, where towns aren't placed in level order one after the other. Instead, having the ability to go to any town / settlement or whatever you want to call these pre-Pokemon towns, and let you freely roam the world exploring till your heart's content. Pokemon needs to go back to the grueling days of having to actually encounter trainer deaths. Hold on, not actually having your trainer die. That's not what I mean. I mean all of your Pokemon dying. Whew, close one. And not being afraid of recollecting yourself, figuring out why you failed, and approaching the challenge at a later time. All of this is hopes and dreams, and to be honest, I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan, but not by choice.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I mean, kinda, but honestly, I kind of stopped playing after Ruby and Sapphire, and nothing really captivated me from the franchise for me to come back until Sword and Shield, if I'm being completely honest. I don't know, the Pokemon formula to me felt very, sorry to sound redundant, but formulaic in a sense. Just nothing captivated me, but Pokemon Arceus is painting a very, very promising picture. I already said that I hope that Pokemon Legends lets you explore the area freely, and I hope they don't implement level-based difficulty, if that makes any sense. And this is something that Sword and Shield did pretty alright. You being able to walk up to a level 50, I don't know, Sudowoodo, that's the first name that came to my mind, and just being able to battle it with your super low level Pokemon. Like, I just hope you keep encountering these harder level Pokemons at any point in the game. But folks, you let me know what you think. Are you excited for Pokemon Legends Arceus? Do you want them to kind of stick to the formula they've been using with all the other turn-based mainline Pokemon games? Or would you welcome the idea of a more open world and less linear Pokemon game? You let me know down in the comments below. I've been True Fernie. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. Every single bit helps. I don't discriminate. If you're a hater, shout out. Come down here. I'll block your ass, but come down here and say what you have to say. Links to my socials are down below. Please make sure to follow me on Twitch, where unfortunately I'm not at home currently. It's a weird situation, work situation. I'm traveling a lot, so streaming has kind of taken a backseat at this point, but they will be back with a force come April. I promise. Come April, we're streaming more regularly. Please make sure to join our Discord, where we talk anything and everything gaming, anime, TV, movies, etc. Anything that might interest you. And also, please make sure to follow me on Twitter, where I yell into what is, shout out to my mic right here, and where I yell into what is the void of social media. And with that, please take care of each other, but most importantly, take care of yourself. And please don't be afraid of embracing change. Pokemon fans, peace.